maybe the researchers did not quite get it right, and you want to point out so that they can improve on the paper as they finalize it for much broader dissemination, but also to highlight also in the area of recommendations how we can actually make this study become more useful to policymakers. How does it become more useful to parliamentarians? How does it become useful to a broad spectrum of stakeholders? Or there could also be areas where you want to ask some questions to clarify issues.
The government has acknowledged the need for improved transparency in the mining sector through the adoption of the EITI, the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. But it's not yet a member. If you look at the national budget statements from 2011 to 2015, you would see government commitment to ensure that we join this EITI initiative, which ensures transparency in the mining sector.
The current act, which is one shoe fits all, according to the previous production records, for example, gold where 13 tons was produced by small-scale miners, and the equivalent by big mining companies, automatically it's evident that the small-scale mining is playing a major role in the mining sector, but without protection.
The Ministry of Mines has made it so difficult for small-scale miners to be registered miners. So therefore, you can't have information from somebody who is not registered. In actual fact, mining, registered. So much is being lost, so much information is collected because that person is considered unregistered, and there is a tendency to ignore their existence, yet they are there.
From literature, we found out that there are so many advantages why disclosure is important, why we should all take seriously the issue of disclosure for mining sector information. Some of these advantages include the fact that it ensures the mining sector contributes meaningfully to economic development. Given that the country is at the moment riding on Zimbabwe is open for business mantra, and if you look at the appetite, it's very high in the mining sector. So it's high time we constructed an enhanced disclosure framework to ensure that the mining deals which the government will strike with investors are aligned to the country's economic development.
In terms of the RRTC, we as miners, we may have a voice that cannot be heard, but we have got representations. These people, they can meet at their own stage, or at their own level, to discuss what percentage or what rate of taxes can they charge miners throughout the country. And I think at that level, that's when we can have a uniform taxation across all provinces of Zimbabwe.
The provisions which govern the information disclosure are scattered in various pieces of legislation. We don't have one particular legislation which specifies all that needs to be disclosed. You would find pieces of legislations across the board.
We are going to face a challenge in the long run, especially with the new bill that is actually going to come. Because one, it will require us, some licenses are going to be raised. And at the same time, we would actually see that from the information that is on the internet, if you look at Randburg, the biggest gold producer in South Africa, most of their gold, they take it from Zimbabwe. And you find that officially about 26 tons were remitted through the official party. They all managed to raise about 51 tons unofficial, which means Zimbabwe is losing because of the information that is not transparent.
The confusion comes from a misunderstanding of the difference between artisanal and small-scale mining. These are not the same. Artisanal mining, you'll find, usually, it's not registered. They don't have title. And they will actually end up playing the cat and mouse, and the RRTCs will not know where they are. But as my colleague says, the small-scale miners who are registered and they've got title, they should know.
The extent to which the mining sector is contributing to the economy, how much do we get from the mining sector, or how much is going to the government? or how much trickles down to the mining communities. That information is not really available.
My observation is that there are a lot of not so accurate information that is being branded around. And that's very dangerous. That's my first point of call. The second part that I would like to point out is that in terms of the Mines and Minerals Act, if you look at either the Act itself and the supporting regulations, there are a number of forms that are provided in those regulations, which miners are supposed to complete and submit to the ministry, which is part and parcel of the disclosure requirements. Now, my experience from the ministry is that very few people are completing those forms and submitting them.
Collection of mining revenue is done by many government institutions. Your ZIMRA, your EMA, your Ministry of Mines, ZMDC, and MMCZ. This compromises the viability of the sector, but also it presents transparency and accountability challenges over the mineral revenue that is accruing to the country.
Major problems that the councils are having is that there is no information on small-scale miners and artisanal miners. We don't know where they're domiciled, and most of the time we have been asked to maybe go to their associations or federations. So I was proposing that maybe we need a whole-of-government approach where at prospecting stage, the local authorities are made aware, equally like EMA is made aware, like every other party is made aware that there is this prospecting that is occurring, and there is a mine that is going to be established, and it will become easier when in terms of following up, in terms of disclosure of information, and even it assists in terms of coming up with the tax rate.
When they come up with the rates for their unit tax, it is because there's no miner that attends to that to that meeting. So this is where you find that there's both indiscriminate charges across the country, from as low as $60 in Mutare to as high as 10,000 in what do you call that, Mzimwane district. So what we've done is we've approached the Zimbabwe Miners Federation again, saying we've approached them and invited us to Kariba to actually say, how do we synergize, how do we meet, so that each time you want to have your registers, we can give you what associations in every district.
I think there's been a bit of ignorance from the RDCs in the issue of the follow-ups. Most of these RDCs are aware of all these miners associations, but when they sit up to do the annual budget, they don't even bother to invite these miners. So it's a fault. I think the whole blame will put it upon the RDCs themselves. That's why at the end of the day, like my colleague has been saying, you see one RDC charges something like $60 for annual whatever fees, and the other one is ending up charging $2,000. Actually, at one point, they were approached by these associations and said, oh, you all the RDCs, why don't you come up with a framework where you charge just one uniform figure for annual rates to the miners? And then the miners association, so for it, will call up their members and say, okay, we have one uniform rate for annual rentals or whatever.
Generally, if you look at the mining information in general, or the mining revenue information, you would find that we don't have a database with, which tracks, the trend from, say, 1980 or so. The information is scattered. It's scattered, it's fragmented, and this is actually one of the reasons why, civil society sometimes make a lot of noise, and there is that mistrust between civil society and government, because information is not, fully available.
There is a lot of blame that is given on the miner for not disclosing. And the issue that we have also observed is that whilst a miner disclosed to relevant authorities, that information is not then passed on to other stakeholders. Exactly. There is no obligation for a miner to disclose certain information to other people other than those that they are required to disclose to.
the ministry can provide field officers like what is happening in the agriculture sector, whereby in all areas we've got field officers who are running so that the information can get to miners very quickly.
Nyaya iripo kuti information isvike kwainofana kusvika ndeyekuti hurumende kana kuti ma-government departments haasi kuita zviri enough pakuti business it's a give and take. So kana tichitarisa ma-small scale miners, panofanira kunge paine ma-incentives for a small scale miner kuti disclose information. Because mukatarisa mamiriro azvakaita iko zvino izvo, all the burden from business point of view, from mining point of view, iri kubva kuna miner. And the government yakagara mumaofisi iri kuexpecta kuti munhu iye ave all the data, all the information, iyo pasina chairi kuita.
Tinotadzisa small scale miner kuti ataure inyaya ye-victimization. Because ndikakudza kuti panapa ndiri kubata kg yegold, big chef akutoda mine yangu, ndakutobviswa ipapo. Saka ndikudzei ndotongokudza kuti ndakambowana 10 grams instead of telling you it's 10 kgs. We need protection. As long as ndine pepa rangu, nobody should take that mine from me, no matter the president venyika. We are all citizens at the end of the day. We have rights to live and enjoy the natural resources of this country. Number 2, Minister of Mining. Ngapave nebill rinotaura kuti minister tiri kuda report kupera kwegore. Report inotaura kuti ma-small scale miners ari muNorton, ari muShamba, ari pakati, vangani, vari kuita zvakadii, vave nemafees avo, kwete zvakafanana nekuChrome. Munhu wese ari kuda special grant, ari kuda almost anobhadhara 1,500 handiti to the ministry. Alright, ko veve ane kamunda kake kane 12 hectares, kari kuti ndoda kungopega ipapa munda pangu chete, ndingoproducer ipapo. Mupeyo ave small scale miner are illegal.
I think just we're trying to find ways in which we have access to this information. My yearly returns, it shouldn't be difficult to find. We shouldn't have to wait a year because this is how much gold is produced in 1 year. So if we digitize the entire process, it would be easier to just say, okay, government, ministry of mine, no mind, they can publish that information power on a monthly basis. One knows that, okay, this month, this is how much the government made for mines, this is how much was taken out and so on.
Small scale miners in particular are having to pay many levies and taxes. It would be better to just zero in and say one tax, 1%. From there, all government departments share that portion. Because what makes them even run away from us, I'm meeting a number of them today, is that, as she said, she will produce a kg, but would rather sell directly to us 10 grams. So that she feels the other balance protects her wealth, because she is mining because she wants to enjoy that wealth.